Get ready to rock, America.
It's the Smith and Milano podcast, brought to you by Treehouse Comedy Production. Here's R.C. Smith and Lou Milano.
Hey, what's up, man?
Is it 2018 already?
It's 2018. Welcome to it, I guess.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
How long do you go to say Happy New Year? How long? How many days?
It's the old Seinfeld thing, right?
Yeah, how long?
I once got Happy New Year in February. I think it's over after.
I'm going to wish Happy New Year every podcast, the entire season.
You should. That'll be it could go right under the same category as Pottling Along.
Pottling along in the new year.
So it's season 2. That's how we've decided to structure this by the calendar year. Episode 2. And if you're listening to this right now, you are likely, unless you're in Southern California, you're under some of the most horrific winter conditions we've seen.
Cyclone bomb, they called it. A winter cyclone bomb. This is the best. I was watching the news.
Yeah.
And the one newscaster said to the meteorologist, and I do that with quotes, cyclone bomb? I've never heard that term before. Why? And I wanted to say, because they just fucking made it up.
Exactly.
That's why you've never heard that term before.
Did you read the article I wrote the other day?
I did not.
Oh, my God. I was talking about this very thing. It's made up. Bomb genesis. I'm 38 years old, never heard bomb genesis or cyclone bomb in my life.
No, because it just used to snow. It just used to rain. The wind just used to blow, and that was it. And they would say, there's the weather. And I'm sure our forefathers are just fucking laughing at us.
Yeah. Just make up words as we go.
People freaked out.
It's really helped my the sales of my new single, Bombo Number 5. I waited all week to tell you that.
So, by the way, I'm R.C. Smith.
Yes, and
this is the Smith and Milano podcast.
That's right.
I'm R.C. Smith, and
Milano.
And I wrote the Emancipation Proclamation.
Whoa,
yeah,
that's big.
Little known fact.
I'm Lou Milano, and I'm an iguana handler.
Nice.
Yeah.
It just seemed like the right time.
It's been a tough time for my people, especially in Florida. They've been freezing.
Iguanas are dropping dead.
Ready to do the thing?
Let's do the thing.
Here's one more from the road.
So I have this week's one from the road. Speaking of Florida, that's where I spent the holidays.
That's right.
I was down in Southwest Florida. Up until just like Sunday, New Year's Eve, the weather was beautiful. It was perfect. It was gorgeous. High 70s, low 80s. The sun was out every single day. No humidity. It was a perfect way to spend the holiday.
Good for you.
One little hiccup.
What's that?
In the whole trip. All right. Christmas Day, we woke up. We stayed at my mom's house. She's got a nice house. She's got a pool. She's got a canal. You can fish. You can swim. You can sit by the pool. We had enough gin and bourbon to last us a couple of days.
Gotcha.
Woke up Christmas morning. Not even early. The kids didn't even wake up early. 8 o'clock. Christmas morning.
Nice. That's sleeping
perfect.
in. Perfect.
Really sleeping in.
Yeah.
And it's really sleeping in for me because I get up at 4:45 every day.
Yep.
So, and it was very low key, not a lot of screaming and yelling, just a very nice Christmas day.
Right.
We made breakfast. I glazed a ham.
Did you massage it though?
I massaged.
You got to massage it.
I massaged the ham and glazed it and then baked it.
Yeah, I learned that from your friend Rachel Ray. You got to massage, tenderize that bitch.
Yeah. So I did all that. It gets to be about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Maybe 2 o'clock. Everything's just really chill. My mom is sleeping because that's what she does. She's taking a nap.
Right.
The kids are in the pool. I'm sitting by the pool reading. It's just a perfect day. We took our dog with us down to Florida. Jack.
Okay.
Jack. He's part shepherd, hellhound, wolf, dingo.
Okay.
All right.
He's an exotic
He's
mix.
a mixed breed.
Yeah. Okay.
He's very excitable. He's only 11 months old. Very excitable. My mom has a cat.
Okay.
A big, fat, orange and white cat named Oscar.
Wait a minute. Do I have to say the dingo ate your baby?
No, we're pretty close.
Okay. It's not time yet.
We were pretty close. We had to keep an eye on the dog the whole time. We had to kind of keep him on his leash because he just wanted to get that fucking cat more than anything in the world. So we're sitting by the pool, and I said to my daughter, why don't you take Jack and put him in his crate? Because we're getting ready to go away for an hour or so, but he can't go with it. Go put him in his crate, and we'll get ready, and we'll all go out.
Okay.
So she gets in, and she goes to put Jack in his crate. He gets away from her. goes charging into the living room where my mom is sitting with the cat on her lap.
Right.
He jumps up, grabs the cat, and all hell breaks loose.
Wow. In the
all
mouth.
hell breaks loose.
Your mom is how old now? She's got
83.
83 years old.
83. And I didn't think she was going to see 84 when this took place. I'm sitting by the pool, and all of a sudden I just hear, and I'm like, holy shit. Right. So my wife and I jump up. We go into the kitchen. The floor is wet from the kids going in from the pool. My wife slips and falls. Wham!
Man
hits
down.
the hard.
Yeah.
I nimbly jump over her.
So you already made your Batman choice.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
like Robin.
Because my first thought is, do I make sure my wife is okay, or do I stop the dog from ripping the cat to pieces?
Batman always had to choose between his girlfriend and Robin.
Exactly.
They were both going to be boiled in a pit of acid.
I chose to fight the bad guy.
Right. So that decision right out of
out. Because I figured, although as I leapt over her in a very nimble fashion, I said, are you okay? But I didn't wait for an answer.
Yeah, right.
So now you could get into my mom's living room by going through two different doors out of the kitchen.
Okay.
It's like L-shaped.
All right.
So I go to the right because I know that they're on the left, and I don't want to approach the dog from the mouth end.
And we're talking about fractions of seconds here.
Exactly. This is all I am.
You're just making decisions.
I am fucking like Batman. I am living on the edge. This is what I was trained for.
And now I'm driving the bus.
This is what I was trained for.
Right. Okay. I'm following. I like it.
I've been living my whole life waiting for this moment.
Right.
To save my family. All right. So I go in the living room, and it looks like the Peanuts cartoon where they're fighting, where there's arms and legs and fur and dust and everything like that, like a big tornado, of activity.
Yeah.
Okay. My mom is frozen in the chair. I check on her. She's fine. All right. The little girl has the dog. The dog has the cat. She's screaming, the little girl, all right? I pull her away and throw her away. I get the dog in a headlock.
Right.
Screaming, drop it, drop it.
Yeah.
We never use that term, so he doesn't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're speaking Chinese.
I might as well have been saying,
this is on
put the car in reverse.
Yeah.
Because he has no idea what I'm saying. So, but I grab his mouth open it. The cat runs away. My mom goes after the cat.
Right.
I grab the dog. The little girl stands up and she's screaming, I can't feel my arm. I can't feel my arm.
That's not good.
Not at all. Meanwhile, so it calms down. It calms down. The little girl is sitting in the kitchen in the chair. Her right arm is clawed and bleeding.
So now you're doing triage. And,
I'm doing triage.
Prioritize.
Suddenly, now I am Hawkeye Pierce.
So now she's jumped up. Yeah, exactly. She's jumped up to the top of the list for priorities.
I think so.
Right.
But then I noticed that my wife also has like big gashes in her arm because she had gotten to the cat as well. So, and her wrist is swelling up. Now, I don't know whether it's because she fell on the floor or because the cat got her.
Okay.
All right. Meanwhile, my mom wants to make sure that Oscar is okay. The cat. Where's Oscar? Where's Oscar? I don't know where Oscar went.
Yeah.
So, Cat had taken the dog and put him in his crate. All right. So it's still chaos, but I have it under control.
Yeah.
My son says, my son steps up to the plate and says, can I have a Christmas cookie? I said
that would have been met with great resistance from me. What, are you kidding me?
No fucking Christmas cookie.
I would have wasted more time explaiing to him why this was bad timing.
Right.
Than his interruption.
It was either that or smack him in the mouth.
Yeah.
Right. Well, to make a long story short, 10 or 15 minutes go by.
Midnight, no cookies.
10 or 15 minutes go by. My daughter has an ice pack on her shoulder, but she can't move her arm. Mm-hmm. And my wife's wrist is swelling up to like twice the size. So I was like, well, we got to go to the hospital. Yeah. That's all there is to it.
Right.
So
going.
I don't know where the hospital is because I've never been
in a
there.
Foreign land.
Right. I'm in a foreign land.
Yeah.
So I Google it. It's like 7 miles away. We get to the hospital. It turns out they just both have really deep gashes, no stitches necessary.
Okay.
They thought that my daughter had dislocated her elbow. They were getting ready to pop it back in. Once she found out they were going to pop it back in, she could miraculously move it.
Gotcha. Look at this.
Yeah. Oh, it's fine.
I'm doing push-ups. Doing handstands.
and we were at the Cape Coral Hospital for 2.5 hours as they tried to, figure out what's going on. They gave him antibiotics. Here's the best part. We went in, and there's this bloodied and battered wife and daughter.
Okay.
I dropped them off at the emergency room. You guys go on in. I'll go park the car. I go in. They think that maybe I had something to do with it because it's fucking Florida,
right?
And they think,
and that's a Tuesday,
right?
For them, not Christmas.
And so they're like, "Who are you?" I'm the husband and father.
You're now being investigated.
And where were you during all this?
Yeah,
I was like, "Listen to me. I saved the day."
yeah.
I fucking leapt over bodies.
You people don't,
jumped over furniture in a single bound.
Wet surfaces, fur everywhere.
I had time to change into my costume.
Yeah. I would have had a good time with that one.
I saved the day. So don't you dare insinuate that I somehow clawed these two people.
Right. But was the temptation there to I mean, you're a comedian.
Right.
What were you doing? She was mouthing off.
Yeah, my first...
The temptation had to be overwhelming, but you had to also know somewhere in your head, this will fuck up my entire vacation
because
I can't stop myself.
I wanted to say, you know what? Sometimes when I get a little pissed off, I claw my family. All right? I bite them and I claw them.
Now, neither one of us think that real life situations like that are funny.
No, not at all.
Clear.
Not at all.
This is the part of your brain that is a comedian.
Yeah, and also too, I'm thinking too, it's also Florida.
Wrong thing.
It's also Florida, so they're like, oh, you claw your wife and kid, get in line. Everybody in Florida,
exactly. Oh man,
yeah.
So you told me before we started doing the show. We don't tell each other any details of what we're presenting.
Ever.
No matter what guy has what. And you just said, for one more from the road, write down Christmas Massacre.
Christmas Massacre. And I was right.
Great. It's a great title.
And as a post note, as we're at the hospital, my son stayed at home with my mom. My mom just sort of randomly says, you might have to have the dog put down.
Oh man.
Because she loves the fucking cat so much that and so I came home and the first thing he does is he comes up and he says, "Do we have to have Jack put to sleep?"
Right.
I'm like, "No, why? No, it's just he went after the cat. That's what dogs do."
Yeah.
He hasn't seen the cat yet. He's been planning the whole trip to get that cat and he finally saw his opportunity. That's what dogs do.
Right.
But the dog is not being put to sleep.
So you shut it down quick.
Yeah, shut it down quick. I said, "Now, Grandma, we may have to have put down."
Yeah.
But
yeah, because if you turn that into an understanding conversation where you hear everybody's point of view, that'd still be going on. You'd still be there. You would have extended your vacation.
Forever.
And you'd all be sitting at the table with half the table weeping.
Yeah.
While you share everyone's feelings. But you just made an executive order.
Exactly.
That's it. No,
and also,
that's not happening.
And then my mom said, "Well, what are we going to do?" I said, "Here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep the dog and cat in separate rooms."
Right, yeah.
Done. See ya.
That's it.
See ya. Now,
simple.
Can I have a Christmas cookie?
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. This is The Five with Smith and Milano.
Houston, Atlantis, roll program.
5 topics, all funny shit. Here's number 1.
Let's do this. So, Elliot Spitzer back in the news.
Former New York governor Elliot Spitzer.
He's like a don't know when to quit kind of guy.
No, and he's also kind of like the guys that should go away, and they do, but they can't stay away too long.
Right.
Without putting their name and their face in the public.
Now, this one is from 2016, I believe. Let me just share with you what I got this morning, all right? A Russian escort who once dated Elliot Spitzer now claims the former governor threatened to kill her in an expletive-laden phone call, sources say.
So if you hire a hooker, that's considered a date?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Is that a date?
I think if it's long-term... Well, no, to me, it's never a date.
Well, I know that when you're approached by hookers, like in Vegas and Atlantic City, they say, "Do you want a date?"
Yeah. That's a good philosophical question, really, too, because you have women who are beautiful that marry rich trolls. I consider them hookers. But we say they're husband and wife.
Right, exactly.
Like, that's not... So you're raising a good question.
Now, and I've also gone out with women that weren't hookers, but we only went out like once, maybe twice.
Right.
And maybe had sex.
But it was a date.
Was that a date?
But you didn't pay I mean, you paid for dinner. Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But
showed him a good time. Showed him a really good time.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason,
I'm confused already.
The relationship didn't work out.
Sure. And they were Australian drifters.